Tuesday. I always got to ask myself, well, what day of the week is it? It is Tuesday, and my name is Nina Moorer, and I'm your mindset coach, right? So I am excited to be here with you all to help you to elevate your mind. You know, one of the things that I realize is how important mindset is and why it matters. And what I love about Deja and G is they understand how important mindset is. They're going to give you systems and strategies. And a system is simply something that saves yourself time, energy, and money. But it doesn't matter even with the most clearest or simplest systems. If our mind isn't right, we will fumble the bag every single time. So as you're logging on, let me open up this chat. Let me know where you're logging in from, what city, what state, and or what country are you logging in from. Let's say hello to each other and let's get acquainted, right? This is a community, a family, and we're going to talk about the builder's mindset tonight. Hello, Atlanta. I'm in Georgia. Okay, Orlando. I'm always in Orlando. I'll be there next month. I'm going to be in Dallas next week. Tampa, Florida. I'm from Philadelphia. Hello. Locust Grove, Georgia. Hello, Georgia. We got a lot of Georgia tonight. Got a lot of Florida. I see a lot of Texas. I'll be in Houston this weekend. Detroit. I'll be in Detroit on Sunday. Oh, I see my family is on here. All the cousins are here. All the cousins are here. Well, I want to celebrate you for showing up. I want you to go ahead and grab your notebook and your pen because you're only going to remember about 20% of the information that you hear, okay? So go ahead and grab a notebook and a pen. You're only going to remember about 20% of the information that you hear. We want to make sure your cameras are on. And if for whatever reason, unless you're in the bathroom, because we want you to know we can see you. Okay, so if you're in the bathroom, keep your camera off. But if you're not like at work, turn your camera on because we want you fully present. Because when you're not on camera, you tend to not be as connected. All right. And I want you to understand that we need your presence. You want to give your future self the gift of your presence today. So again, we're going to talk about the builder's mindset. Thinking like the person who can carry 100K. We want to welcome you to the 3-day build flip challenge, the 100K build and flip challenge. But we got to make sure you're thinking like the person who can carry 100K. I want you to type 100K in the comments. Let me see. Everybody type 100K. If you believe that this is the season, that no more looking from the sidelines, I want you to type 100K in the comments. Let me see. I see a few of you. So tonight we're going to talk about identity before income. All right? Write that down in your notes. Identity before income. Identity before income, because we will never consistently produce what our mind is not prepared to hold. We'll never consistently produce what our mind is not prepared to hold. We are also never going to outperform our current version of ourselves. So somewhere inside, sometimes there's that self-sabotage spirit. When you don't really believe that you deserve to have all that God says you can, that you're an heir of his kingdom and you deserve to have it. And if you don't really internally believe that, you will have a blockage. There will be a blockage. You'll always get but so far. How many of you know what I'm talking about? How many of you feel like you're working so hard, yet you feel like you're kind of just marching in place? You're walking in place. Let me see. Let's be honest, because this is a safe space. This is a safe space. And let me help you out with something. So we fail when we're trapped in the wrong frame. We fail when we're trapped in the wrong frame. Hustle, I learned from one of my mentors, Dr. Marquel Russell. See, he says hustle is not a business model. Hustle is not a strategy. I want you to write that down in your notes. Hustle is not a business model. Hustle is not a strategy. Because if working hard would produce the results that we wanted, everybody on here would be millionaires, correct? Correct. Yes or yes? If working hard was the solution, if working hard was the answer, everyone on here correct, right? Thank you for my 2 corrects, 3 corrects. Everyone on here would be millionaires. So that's not the system. It's not the strategy. We got to change the frame that we're in. If you believe that you have to work hard to make money, money will only come if you're working hard. We got it? Kaylee, I see you. Kimberly, I see you. I see you, Tiara. Tawana Lee, I see you. Jennifer, I see you. iPhone, I see you. Erica. So we got to change that, that mind frame. Because if we believe we got to grind, which is not a good thing, when the brakes are grinding, what happens? When your teeth are grinding, what happens? All right, so I want you to think about that. We can't grind. We're not going to grind our way out. This is 2026. We're not grinding. Those grinding days are over. There it is, Kiosha. It wears you out. So good evening, everyone. Again, welcome to the 100K Build and Flip Challenge. Tonight is not just about money. Tonight, it's not about just money. It's not just about property. It's not just about strategy. It's not just about deals. Tonight, we're going to get started. We're going to talk about identity. We got 3 days to work on our identity. Because the truth is this. You can hand someone a blueprint, a budget, an opportunity, and even a winning environment. But if their thinking is still small, if their thinking is still fearful, if their thinking is reactive or inconsistent, they will sabotage what they prayed for. So it's more than belief. It's identity shift. How many of you watch basketball? I am a basketball fan. I am the only girl. I've got all brothers. All right. How many of you watch basketball? How many of you are a fan? You're a fan of basketball, right? What's your favorite sport? Who's your favorite team? Maybe it's because of the favorite colors, right? I'm super excited about what just happened here in Atlanta with Angel Reese, right? I love what just happened. Cleveland Cavaliers. You're a football fan. Okay, well, football. All right, but I'm going to show you all something. I'm going to show you all something in two ways. Kobe Bryant hit a streak in his life where he was stuck. He hit a streak or a space in his life, you all, where he couldn't quite figure out how to get out of the rut that he was in. Do y'all remember that? When all of the media started hounding him, he had those issues going on. His marriage appeared like it was. So here's the thing. He went to Tim S. Grover, who's one of my favorite coaches. Paid by Tab. I love it, right? He went to one of his coaches. He went to Tim S. Grover, and Tim S. Grover instructed Kobe, we got to change your identity. We got to change your name. That's right, they gave him the identity of Mamba. He became Mamba. Some of you just need an identity shift. See, because who you are now is not who you've been. But everyone in your environment keeps treating you like who you been. Who you are now is not who you been. Now, let me give you another. I'm going to bring it home. For all of you that don't enjoy sports. I don't know why you would not enjoy sports. But anyway, for those of you who don't enjoy sports, I want you to think of a marriage, a union. And when a man and a woman, all right, y'all, I grew up, I'm 53. So don't kill me for this, okay? But when a man and a woman are at the altar, the lady takes on a new name because she's past the responsibility. Thank you. The responsibility from the father shifts to the husband as she takes on the new identity. Come on. There comes a time in life, Jawan, where even this good book that I read says that when I was a child, I acted like a child. But when I became older, I acted like I put away childish things. And so a lot of people want a 100K result, but very few have trained their mind to become the kind of person who can carry a 100K assignment. We got to be able to carry the 100K assignment. And that, my friends, that's what we're going to deal with tonight. We got to be able to carry the capacity, the weight of the assignment. See, and who we were before, because I told you what got us here won't get us there. What got us here won't get us there. What got us here won't get us there. Because income does not just respond to effort. Income responds to identity. Results respond to self-concept. And expansion responds to capacity. Some of you all got to change your capacity. See, when a woman is pregnant and she's carrying a child within her, her body stretches capacity for the life that she's carrying. Some of you are pregnant and don't want the stretch marks from it. Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness. You're pregnant and you got to stretch. There's got to be more capacity. You got to birth this 100K out. So the question tonight is not, can you make 100K? No. The money part is easy. You heard G say that last night. The money part, that's easy. The question is, who do you have to become to stop shrinking every time a bigger opportunity appears? Uh-oh. You see what happens is, and you know what we do? We sing it. Enlarge my territory. I need increase. And we sing it and we foam at the mouth and we roll on the floor. We cry. We lift our hands. Increase my capacity. But in order to, and then what happens is it starts to get tough. It starts to get hard. The birth pains of the blessing start kicking in. The contractions start kicking in. See, we're praying for the wrong things. We're praying for increase and not praying that God would create in us a new desire, a new mindset, give us more wisdom. See, the increase will come when we're wise enough to handle the capacity. So most people do not rise to what they desire. They default to what they believe they deserve. Most people, I'm going to say it again, do not rise to what they desire. They default to what they believe they deserve, which is why I said we can never outperform our current version of ourselves. So, if deep down inside someone believes, I'm behind, I'm not qualified, I'm not a real leader, big money is for the other people, I always start but I never finish, my family's gonna talk about me, they and them, and blah, 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 blah. If we really believe that we don't know enough, that, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I had a baby when I was 15, a pastor's daughter. I'm the pastor's daughter. Baby at 15, I used to think I was one of those people not qualified. Oh, no one's gonna wanna listen to me. And then I reversed that thing. I used that story for his glory, and I turned it around for my good. And I turned it around, and I remembered that there was a good book that I had read all my life, that all things work together for the good of them that love God, they're called according to his purpose. And, that son of mine has a master's degree, works for the mayor of Philadelphia, is very, very, very well known. See, what I decided was I shifted my mindset. Even as a little girl, I had no idea what I was doing. And I decided I wasn't behind. And I decided that God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. He doesn't call the qualified, but he qualifies the called. So my past doesn't dictate my future. My past doesn't even dictate my present. And so 6-figure months is regular now. 6-figure months is regular now. See, I used to pray for 6 figures a year. 6-figure months are regular now. Now I'm working on becoming the person that has the capacity to earn $1 million in a month. Then we'll go to 10 million. But 6-figure months, that's normal for me now. I'm used to that. But I had to increase my capacity to get to 6 figures. a month. They will unconsciously, so listen to this. If you really believe all those things, what will happen is you will unconsciously build a life that keeps proving that your belief is true. That is why mindset work is not extra, it's foundational. I'm going to say that again. Mindset is not extra work. You don't have to, you got to shift the way you think. Oh, we got to get on 6:30 because we got to do extra. We got to do mindset. No, this is the foundation. Like that house that you want has a foundation. This is the foundation. Mindset work is not extra. It's foundation. Y'all type foundational in the comments. Let me see you type foundational in the comments. See, a builder does not say, well, let me see if this works. No. A builder says, let me become the kind of person who works this until it does. So if you're on here well, let me see what they got to say. I'm just going to get on this challenge. I'm going to just see what they got to say. Well, you already the wrong person for the job. Because the builder doesn't say, I want to see if this works. The builder says, let me become the kind of person who works this until it does. You see, what happens is this. We'll say, well, I'm going to give the best that I got. And we're lying. There's always another level of best. We're not giving it the best that we got. So our language has got to shift from I'm going to do my best to I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Now, I'm going to invest in myself. I don't know how many winners are on here. I don't know how many of you are like 100K. You think 100K? I would tell you 100K is not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. But we cannot build a new life with an old identity. We cannot build a new life with an old identity. I want us to stop thinking 100K is a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. Ask somebody who can go blow 100K in 10 minutes. The winners. No, you're winning, Kelly. You're winning. Change your language. That's why you're here. We're not going to build a new life with an old identity. That's like that new wine in an old skin. We can't do it because it will burst. Our minds can't hold a lot of new information if we won't change. So now you're fighting against your will. Because there's a part of you that wants to say the same, and there's a part of you that wants to say the same. And there's a part of you that wants to change. But you do not build a new life with an old identity. So stop waiting for evidence before you move. Stop waiting for evidence before you move. We got to move. We've got to move. The average person needs proof before they commit. But a real builder learns how to commit before all the proof arrives. See, you know what's amazing? We don't need proof before we sit in that chair. We don't need proof before we get on the airplane. We don't even know the pilot when we get on the airplane. We don't know anything about his background when we get on the airplane. We don't know what his religious beliefs are before we get on a plane. We don't know what his diet habits are like. We don't know where he been the night before, but we get on that airplane. But we need proof. We need, you know what, Deja G, y'all gonna show me, prove it to me. Well, they've got receipts. And the average person, but y'all not average. The 261 of you that are here right now, you're not average. You're above average. And let me tell you why I know you're above average. You're above average because you're on the mindset call. You made a decision, I want more in 2026. You're not average. You're above average. Every one of you that are on here are above average. Richardson, Jennifer, Tiffany, Cicely, Polly, you're above average. Arnez, you're above average. So here's the thing. I am not telling anyone to be reckless. There's a difference. It means understanding that vision always asks for movement before it offers comfort. See, a lot of people think that they can't move until they get clarity, but clarity doesn't come until you start moving. We don't get clarity until there's action. That's why if you see the when they get ready to make a movie, they say lights, camera, action. So we think we're waiting on God. We think we're waiting on whatever you call it, the universe or whatever you call it, because I'm not trying to force what I believe on anyone. But you believe you're waiting on something. You're waiting on a sign. You're waiting on a signal. You're waiting on this is your signal. Because I want to ask a real question. If not this, then what? What else you going to do to generate an extra 100K? If not this, what? And if not now, when? Because the people who build anything meaningful, they learn how to move while the details are still unfolding. Faith is not a fantasy. Faith is disciplined forward motion. Disciplined forward motion. So another principle that I want to give you, because we're almost done, we only got about 8 minutes, is that you cannot build wealth with survival thinking. No, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I want you to know that whatever season that you're in right now, it's not your sentence. You cannot build wealth in survival thinking. Survival thinking sounds like this. Let me stay safe. Let me not risk embarrassment. Let me wait until I think I'm ready for more. Let me avoid the pressure. Let me play small. Let me ask broke Uncle Bobby what he thinks I should do. Listen, no harm, no disrespect. But I am not asking anyone for advice that I would not trade lives with. I am not asking anyone for advice that I would not trade bank accounts with. And why we believe that we should go and ask people that have never built anything for advice is beyond me. So you're asking someone who's afraid to step out and walk on the water to give you advice as to whether or not you should step out and walk on the water. But building requires a different internal language. Let me tell you what building requires. The language that building requires. Investing requires. Let me learn. Let me stretch. Let me decide. See, this is the language of builders. This is the language of 100K builders. Are my 100K builders still here? Let me see if my 100K builders are still here. Let me see. No, you can't. Let me become. Let me lead. We're not in survival mode anymore. Because let me tell you what happens in survival mode. Survival mode, you're in protection mode all the time. We're builders when you're in the builders, when you have a builder's mindset, when you have a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset, because survival mode is a fixed mindset. I studied this. Builders produce. That's a growth mindset. And here's the thing, because some people still believe that they're lacking opportunity. You're not lacking opportunity. You're drowning in hesitation. And you know what I like to call hesitation? I call it stutter thinking. You know what stutter thinking is? Let me tell you what stutter thinking is. And don't worry, whatever we don't finish today, we get tomorrow. And whatever we don't finish tomorrow, we get on Thursday, okay? I'm going to be with you for the next 3 days. Let me tell you what stutter thinking is. Do you ever get to an intersection where you need to make a left turn? And you thought about it, right? You thought about, like, you knew it was clear for you to make the left turn. Analysis paralysis, yes, right? So you knew that you probably should make the left turn, correct? And you didn't do it. You thought too long. And then what happened when you thought too long is a whole funeral procession comes by. A long one with the horse and carriage and the cops are, trailing it and in front, and it's a long one. And now you were already running a little bit late for your appointment, and now you're really late because you stutter thought. So you thought, and then you thought a little too long, and now you're stuck. And what happens is this. Y'all write this down. There are a lot of people that are addicted to information, but they're allergic to execution. So they go from challenge to challenge to challenge to challenge to challenge to challenge. And you're going to come into the VIP room too. You're going to ask really, really great questions. You're going to go platinum or VIP. You are. Say I am, so that you can come into the proximity room. I'm going VIP. I'm going platinum. Because I want more. I didn't come here to play small. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. So we're not lacking opportunity. We're drowning in hesitation. But identity shift requires a language shift. People reveal their ceiling by the way that they speak. I promise you, if you listen louder than you speak, you will always know what a person's ceiling is. Here's some of the phrases that you got to watch, and I'm getting ready to end. I'm trying. I hope. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know if I can. Those are the phrases. Those are a lot of the phrases that reveal a person's ceiling. Where builders, people who are ready, they say things like, I've decided. I'm learning. It's all right. Tiffany, it's all right. It's all right. If I stepped on your toes, it's okay. I'm going to come down. I'm going to come down your row one of these 3 days, okay? Just say, ouch-a-luya. Just say, ouch-a-luya. Builders say, I'm building. I'm committed. I will adjust, but I will not retreat. See, our mouths often announcing the future your mind expects. Your mouth is often announcing the future that your mind expects. I'm going to say it one more time. Your mouth is often announcing the future that your mind expects. So as we close and we move into general session, what version of you has been in the way of your next level? What version of you has been in the way of your next level? Where are you still thinking like a consumer instead of a creator? Have you been asking God for expansion while protecting your old identity? Holding on to the blankie like you don't want to let go? And I want you to ask yourself, what would change if you stopped introducing yourself by your past? Whoa! What would change if you stopped introducing yourself by your past? What would change? So I want you to write this real quick. All right, y'all get ready. Y'all write this because we got to go. We got to go over to the general session. Write the identity that you must release because you got to release the old one. Write the identity that you must build, the new one. And then the standard that you will hold yourself to for the next 3 days. All right? We're holding ourselves to a higher standard. So what do you have to release? Who do you have to release? What do you have to build, this new identity? What traits do you have to build in the new identity? And then what standard will you hold yourself to for the next 3 days? All right? So let me leave you with this as we open up for our general session. 100K is not just a financial target. It is a demand on your thinking. It's a demand on your consistency. And it is a demand on your maturity. So tonight we stop asking, can I do it? and we start asking, who must I become so this level becomes natural for me? This is where the real work begins.